I'm Cathal Furey from 45 Sound. We develop a software tool to make it really easy for fans to film live music events and automatically match it up with professionally recorded live audio. It's pretty cool. I would describe myself as a bit unconventional. I'm very passionate about my work, and I think with 45 Sound we're building technology that's interesting and that's capturing very interesting and personal moments. And my life is it's a lot of fun. Again, perhaps I've taken an unconventional path through life, but the road less taken can be more interesting. Creative technologies. Well, technology, I have a funny take on technology, that there's a bit of an obsession with technology, but technology is just new tools. There was a time when the wheel was technology, and so creative use of those tools is it kind of blows my mind continually. And I think with 45 Sound we created a technology, but where it gets really interesting and exciting is what people are going to do with that technology, and things that we never dreamt could be done with the technology we built. So that's creativity. The technology, if it's mathematically possible, usually if you can figure it out logically, it's doable, but creativity is something I'm very envious of, people who can just come up with creative projects and ideas. What digital tech can I not live without? I know what my girlfriend would say about this. It's definitely my iPhone. There's a bit of a divide sometimes between iPhone and Apple users and non-Apple users, but I'm not a mad Apple fanboy. I just find that it's a useful tool that just works. I don't have to overthink it. It's not very buggy. It does exactly what I need it to do. And I think, when I come from a generation, I remember my first mobile phone, I remember my first time using the internet, and I think having all that power crammed into one small device is pretty mind-blowing. Second digital tech, if I may have a second answer, would be what this is being filmed on, DSLR cameras. I think they've kind of really broken down the barriers to producing content and aren't too obtrusive, and very cool pieces of kit. What does the digital world look like in 2015? They say that we tend to overestimate the impact of technology in the short term and underestimate it in the long term. So 2015, 2 years down the road, it's not going to be radically different from today, but the internet is changing the world in ways that we are only now beginning to appreciate the impact of. I really like a quote from Jeff Bezos a couple of years ago when he was doing a commencement address, and he said, people think I'm smart because I was the guy who came up with Amazon.com, but I have no insight into the future. However, I can say this much: I think we're only on day one. So I think the way the internet and cheap accessible technology is democratizing access to knowledge, crowdsourcing knowledge. It's allowing people to do things that we could only dream of a number of years ago. So in the short term, maybe not a radical change between now and 2015, but it's going to be another kind of time point on a really interesting journey. I'll throw in one kicker on that. I think what's happening with WikiLeaks and what has happened with the more recent leaks of information, and what that is telling us about how everyone has used the internet and popular services in good faith, and now have discovered that all that information is being fed back to people who maybe they don't want the information to come to. That might be a radical change. So we might see a lot of new services sprouting up between now and 2015, and kind of prominent internet services who maybe made the wrong decisions might not be so prominent in a couple of years' time. Personal opinion. Jeez, it went on so long, I killed it. Creative technology, like I said, technology is just a word for new tools, but I think between the internet and access to these tools at a cheaper price point, it's democratizing and turning things into more of a meritocracy. So if you want to rule the world with creative technology, do shit. Get off the couch and try shit. Whoever edited The Social Network had to edit together their first video on iMovie or Windows Movie Maker. Whoever shoots the best photos in the world had to pick up a camera and take their first shots. So I think the fast pace of technology means that you're not that far behind anyone in some of the new trends. So the best way to use it to rule the world is come up with a new and fresh idea or a good idea, and then just get up off your ass and do it. Because by doing things, you learn a huge amount, and you also get a reputation as someone who does shit, and that means people want to collaborate with you, and it'll take your life and your career on paths that you never dreamt of. So if you want to use creative technology to rule the world, just start by doing shit and doing more shit and learning from it. Joe Bloggs should give a damn, because the world is changing, and old careers, lifelong careers are gone. The world is becoming project-based. People are coming together to collaborate, just like this crew here today, to collaborate on a project and then maybe go their separate paths or start their own projects. So if you miss this bus, you're potentially radically changing your life path and really limiting where you're going to go and how you can stay on top of things and how you can have a rewarding and economically viable life. So Joe Bloggs should give a damn and should get on board and try these new tools and learn about them. At the very least, be aware of them. You could be selling paintings on a street corner and never have used the internet or a computer, and still people are going by you, taking a photo and tweeting it saying, this guy's doing amazing paintings, you should buy them, or these guys' paintings are awful, they're a rip-off. So you need to be aware of technology, and you need to get on top of it if you want to succeed. I'm passionate about that. Who's my childhood hero? Good question. It's funny, when I was a child, it's kind of a standard question to be asked, who do you want to be when you grow up? Who do you worship? And I always avoided it in a strange way, because I think everyone has their own path to take through life, and if you try and model it in someone else's, even as a kid, for some reason I felt quite passionate about that. So people always ask me who I wanted to be when I grow up, or what I wanted to be, and my answer, strangely enough, is the same now as it was back then. I want to be a wise old man when I grow up. I'm nowhere near a state of having grown up at this point, and I don't plan to in the near future. I still have a passion for knowledge and intellectual curiosity, and I'll be happy if I keep learning and keep trying new shit and keep working with creative people until I'm not able to work again. So it's kind of where I wanted to be, rather than to have a huge hero figure. Strangely enough, as an Irish person, I don't drink tea, I don't drink coffee, and I don't drink alcohol. So people think I'm a bit of a nutter. Coffee seems to be a huge part of this whole startup culture. But it doesn't do it for me. I did try drinking coffee once when I was hungover, and discovered that if you drank coffee in the morning, then you hit a caffeine trough and then have to drink more coffee in the afternoon, and quickly you're hooked on it. I don't really like the taste of it, so I'm a strange tech person who... What superpower would I have? I'd love to fly. I really like swimming, play a lot of water polo, and enjoy that sensation of being in the water, being able to move around. And strangely enough, hasn't happened that recently, but occasionally I have dreamt of being able to fly, and you kind of fly breaststroke in my head. And I love like Google Earth and Google Satellite and programs that allow you to see things from a different perspective. I live and work in Dublin, a city I'm very passionate about, and I love when I get to, like, the lawyers we use have a building beside Stephen's Green, main square in the city, and they're on the top floor, they have a balcony, so I'm waiting for them to arrive in a meeting. I walk out on the balcony and I love seeing things from a different perspective. So being able to fly would be a pretty cool way of seeing things.
That's
That's the end.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much.
Well, I didn't expect that.